Live from the City of Angels here on this Sunday morning, you are watching Breaking Box Office, and the huge story, we have two of them. Number one is Madam Web, one of the biggest CBM bombs in the history of film. When you look at this number of 15.2 million, are you kidding me? That's the 3-day take for Madam Web. And remember, Morbius, that everyone made fun of, said, what a bomb, what a terrible result 39 million was. Guys, 15.2, okay? That is quite a bit under that number. We have some troubles. We knew it was going to bomb, but this is even worse than expected, and it speaks to how bad the film is. And tonight we're going to talk about it on the Sunday Evening Spectacular. Do not defend this film. If you do, you are opening yourself up to everything that you ever say in the history of your remaining time on planet Earth will be scrutinized because you defended Madam Web. Don't do it. Just stay away. Stay clear. Let's go to THR. Nice little write-up here. I've got the emails from Sony as well. We'll go over those. And then we'll get to Bob Marley, One Love. Huge outperform. I mean, this is a big win for movie theaters. They needed something, and they got it. Not Madam Web. They got One Love. Okay, so the 25.8 million that they're reporting, of course, they're going to give you that number. That's the 6-day number, rolling that back to Valentine's Day. Remember, both these films, One Love and Madam Web, debuted on Valentine's Day because they figured it's a good day to have people come to the movie theater, go on dates. I don't know why. If you went on a date to see Madam Web, very good chance that was the first and last date ever. And or if you were going together, it's broken up. You're never going to see each other again because you made me sit through the laughably terrible Madam Web. But they report 25.8, 17.6 for the 4-day. Remember, tomorrow is President's Day, so everybody's off. A lot of people, government, schools. So you should have a pretty good crowd here on Sunday night. If you saw the tweet I sent out yesterday, I don't know if you noticed, there's 0 seats sold tonight at 640 at the Burbank 16 down the street. I think it's the number one AMC in the entire United States. Not one seat had been sold for the 640 showing of Madam Web. This is disastrous. And you can see here, it is the worst start for a Sony film featuring Spider-Man related characters. Talk about a lot of qualifiers in there. We have to add, it's the Sony film, Spider-Man related characters, and it's not considered part of the MCU. Obviously, tangentially, I mean, it is, right? It's still Marvel, but we're never going to see these characters again. I think that's one of the funniest things about Madam Web when you watch that film is at the end they set up the, next, here comes the sequel. We have all of the girls together with Dakota Johnson, Madam Web. She's looking out the window at New York City, and then they blare the Cranberries' Dreams. That's when I started dying in the theater. What are we doing? You go from this serious, future hope kind of situation. Oh my goodness, we're going to save humanity. And then, oh my dreams. What's going on? That's how bad this film is. But this is a C plus cinema score, speaks to how bad it is. By the way, that's bad. Okay, C plus is like a D minus in a real grading system when it comes to that. $80 million film. It's going to lose them a lot of money. It did make 25 plus million overseas, and it is tracking better than Blue Beetle, according to Sony. So I guess that's something they can hang their hat on. But I mean, it's over. This is it. It's a one and done. And as you may or may not know, Dakota Johnson fired her agents and managers. Anybody associated with the decision to be in this film, she should have fired. Why did you even say yes to this? You should have read the script, first of all. Second of all, look, the director had only done television. There's things that are there for you to say, wait a second, same studio that made Morbius, maybe we just don't. And it was a disastrous decision for her. Apparently she has an awards film coming up later this year. Good luck to get people to forget this film. But it was a total and absolute bomb at 15.2 million. Let's go to the good news. One Love. This is an outperform, 27.7 for the 3-day, but more importantly, look at the 6-day debut. $51 million for this film. And I was very critical about pushing this film into February. I thought it could have been an awards film, put it out over Christmas, but give credit to Paramount for holding this off because it did better than it would have done virtually any other weekend. I can tell you why it happened. Okay, first of all, the film is beloved by the average moviegoer. Saw it last night. I really like Green as a director. I did watching King Richard, and then here the story is a little limited. We'll talk about it tonight a little bit more, but ultimately, listen, it's Bob Marley. You can't make shit up. You have to just go with what you have, and he did the best with what he does, but in the middle it does kind of get stalled out. But I still love the visual, talent of this director, and certainly Adair as a great Bob Marley really becomes the character and becomes the man in front of you. So we're looking at an $80 million worldwide estimate, very strong, much higher than I had this film. And it speaks to, this is the number one reason this film outperformed. Yes, it got an A Cinema score. That means audiences like the film. It is solid. I would agree with that. But the number one reason that One Love outperformed this weekend, come on in. You tell me right now, you damn well know, because we've had shit in movie theaters for the past 2 months. And as such, when you have crap in movie theaters, people go, well, I'll go see whatever this is. The next film that's not Argyle, Lisa Frankenstein, Night Swim. I mean, good Lord. We have been battered. We've been abused by the Hollywood studios with the output for the first 2 months of this year. And finally, we get a film that actually feels like a real piece of, well, at least for a lot of people, cinema. And that matters. And look at this. It helped out movie theaters this weekend. Very excited to see this film outperform, and it will continue to do well because next weekend is Nothing Again. There's one film, that Dolls film, the focus feature kind of quirky thing, that's not going to do well. So this film should hold at a minus 45 or at worst 50%. Look for it to continue to hold. I've got to mention some other things. One I don't want to talk about. This one I do. I'm not a huge fan of Wonka, but it hit $600 million worldwide. So, of course, we're going to celebrate the fact that it brought people into cinemas, and that Christmas corridor was so key for this film. When you put a film out, a family film, and you have that essentially 2-week, everybody off, going to movie theaters, this film cleaned up every single day. It was banking cash, and look, now worldwide, $600 million. This one I don't want to talk about. It's going to be so short. Poor Things is almost at $100 million. I'm not going to cry. I am going to weep for humanity for celebrating this trash film. That's all I'm going to say. Mean Girls, $100 million worldwide. Who had this film at $100 million? Don't tell me you did, because you didn't. You're a liar if you're telling me yes right now. Let's do the top 10, and then a couple things I want to note. Coming up later today, we're going to have the BAFTA live reaction. That'll probably be in about 2.5, 3 hours. I'm going to wait for the ceremony, and we'll come on, do like a 20-minute stream, the winners, the losers going into Oscars. Then tonight at 8:30, 3 streams in one day. That might be a record for MMT. We are going to have a big discussion. Scott Menzel will join. We'll talk about Madam Web, One Love, but also I want to mention this. Chris Stuckman. Okay, I am going to go off on Stuckman. The latest video he has on Madam Web, that's tonight. This guy's not a film critic. He needs to exit the space. He has too big of an audience to be on there bloviating about bullshit and not having a real, serious, critical angle to your videos. That'll come up tonight. Let's talk about the top 10 box office right now. I'll make it big and make me really small. Here we go. Number 1, One Love, 27,751 for the 6th day. Madam Web at 15.15, call it 15.2. Disastrous. Argyle, 4.7. It's at 36 million stateside. That is a $200 million film. Apple is losing their ass on that. It's terrible. Migration is up to 114, call it 115 million stateside, over 200 million worldwide. We will get a sequel. Chosen. They put that thing in there for the episodes, right? The first 3, now the next 3. That film, the show, now, in a theater, then I guess it's technically, quote, a film. 4.2 million this weekend, or overall, but still, that's so impressive. Wonka at 209 million stateside, 600 million worldwide. Beekeeper at almost $60 million, and that is just domestic. That's so impressive. Anyone But You at 84, over 150, maybe 175 now worldwide. Lisa Frankenstein at 7.6. God, I hate that film. Man, what really makes you feel gross. I hate films like Poor Things and Lisa Frankenstein that make you feel icky, for lack of a better word. This film makes me feel icky. And then Land of Bad. You even know what that is? Isn't that the Liam Hemsworth and Russell Crowe? 1.8 million, 1,700 per. That is not a good result. All right, that is going to lock and load and end this stream. Get ready for the BAFTA reaction stream. I'll just get a notification. When I go live, it'll be live after the event. And then we will go to tonight, the big discussion, Stuckman, reviewing, Madam Web, One Love, anything, your open comments. That is tonight here on MMT. By the way, they'll love for the Jamaican-themed jersey today. This is Leonis Negros out of Guatemala. They're in Mexico. Deep, somewhere in the jungles of Mexico. And as I found this, I said, hey, let's go. It's Jamaica tinged. All right, guys, that's it. I'll see you later for the BAFTA stream tonight on MMT. Until then, peace out, live from LA. See you in a few hours.